And Musa can give us some introduction, inshallah, about some of the activities and how many youth and all of that. So you can give us a few minutes to get a grasp of our youth presence in Masjid al-Salam. Right? Then we will see if there was some spike in the youth activity and presence in Ramadan, and that continues or less or more or what. That's what we'll be talking about, inshallah. So please, Musa, give us some light about what youth are doing in the masjid here.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So during Ramadan, we kind of had a varying list of activities and service tasks that we were aiming to do throughout the month. Some of the things that we were doing were focused towards the youth, like youth qiyams, for example. But we really wanted to do more things geared towards community work as well. So we did a couple. Well, we hosted one suhoor night, for example. But our goal for a lot of the more fun events were not just for people to come and have a good time. We wanted to get something out of it, so we decided that along with something like our suhoor night, we wanted to also have a qiyam going on at the same time at the masjid, because it is during Ramadan. We have families coming together, so we wanted people to maximize their time at night and not just think about having fun, but also think about where they are and what they should be aiming to do. That doesn't mean we had all those people outside come in and pray, but we tried. So that was one. We were trying to do neighborhood outreach. So we helped with organizing the iftar for the convert dinner. And that was, alhamdulillah, I think that was a very big success in terms of numbers. I spoke to a lot of different people who came out that night, and we had people come from Woodlands, Katy, Richmond, and I exchanged contact information with like youth pastors from other churches, and they were interested in doing like interfaith sports events.
Good.
Stuff like that, like our masjid against their church or something, or working together, organize these types of events. We also did events for kids, teaching them, like very young elementary age kids, teaching them about Ramadan and what to expect, what to do, adab and this and that. That's the type of stuff we were doing, like some things geared towards education, but most of our events now are aiming to focus more towards mentorship at the end of the day.
Me and Musa now, it's not like I'm hosting him or he's hosting me. I'll ask him something, he'll ask me something, and that's how it will go. And if you want to, interject, that's okay. You can raise your hand and tell us some feedback. So Musa, I noticed, for example, in Ramadan, and this is, by the way, a very open discussion. In here, we don't have we're not politically correct and all of that. We talk about reality. And that's actually one of the reasons that our masjid went that far. It's like it's open. You can say your opinion freely, and we have tolerance. We talk about it, and we get the feedback of everybody, and then we try our best to follow the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I noticed, for example, Musa, that you have a sports program here, grappling, right?
Yes.
And then you have youth who come. Actually, you have some professionals also who come, young adults. So that's one. The other thing is like one event. So this program I'm talking about is a regular program that you do. But there is that event when you had the suhoor here. Families came, and mashallah, this was like a big picnic mood kind of thing. And there was a big turnout. I myself was surprised that night. It was the 27th night or 29th, or something like that?
Ours was hosted prior to the last 10. But then the one that we ended up hosting last minute was during the last 10 nights.
Last 10 nights. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. I ended up, even though I was so tired from Fajr until Isha, I was here, I ended up staying until Fajr. And you saw me sitting in the parking there and talking and all that. So my question here, or my concern, or call it curiosity, what does make, because most of the people were youth, what does make youth instantly come to that kind of event at the masjid? But we look at this event, for example, now, Or if we tell the youth we are going to talk about something, they don't come. You do bonfire, they come. Food trucks, they come. A masjid picnic, they come. Eid festival, they come. Islamic art festival, they come. All good stuff, right? So what am I missing here? I'm the sheikh now, right? What am I missing? Like, is there something I am missing? Or honestly, talk to me. I mean, tell me what goes in your head as a youth and what goes in other people here who are not like you. Because this is my concern.
So I think this is a very big question. And I honestly, I don't know where to begin, but I think if I could use one word to describe why a lot of youth will come out to an event, I would say fun, but I think a more accurate word would be comfort. So I think that if you really try to pinpoint one thing, so you mentioned my grappling club, for example, and we have also Brother Anwar is inshallah as a branch of our martial arts program. We'll be starting a Muay Thai program as well.
Yeah.
The issue with things like this, when compared to our other youth events that are more fun, is getting the young people to step out of their comfort zone is very difficult. And that's usually the barrier to their entry or their involvement in an event. Something like a suhoor night or a bonfire doesn't require anything of them. So it's easy for them to just show up and have a good time
because I did not see a problem of me inviting them to come prayer. Brother Anwar will tell people to come for the salah. You are a practicing Muslim wudu. So my issue is not religious versus non-religious. That's not my issue here. My issue is still they know it is in the masjid. Still they know that somebody prays is on who's going to train them. They still know it is confined to the masjid premises, but they will still come. But if you say lecture, they don't come. You see my point here?
Of course.
So I think, because everybody was under the impression for the past 20 years that kids want to play only. They want to play only. They don't want to be good Muslims. That was the thing. You tell them to become good Muslims, they don't. But I see what is the problem for me introducing Islam to them through these activities. So you already answered, comfort. So let's remember that word, everybody. It is making a comfortable atmosphere for those whom we want them to practice.
And if I could add to it, I think the issue with on the youth side, right? I'm speaking from my generation and younger.
Please.
Is I think a lot of us and a lot of the people younger than us are quick to put the blame for them not being involved or them not taking initiative to better themselves, and they'll put it on an external force like the elders in the community or the sheikh or whoever, and they're not so quick to ask themselves or be introspective. And I might be harsh, but I'm being honest. I have younger brothers, I have cousins, I have friends. I speak to his friends and their friends all the time, and I've noticed that it's easier for them to put judgment and blame on an external force instead of saying, hey, maybe I should go out of my way and try to be involved or learn, or try to better myself. So it's both sides, right? It's like one side is the people who are involved should, as you said, try to make it a more welcoming, comfortable environment. But at the end of the day, the individual also has to make themselves feel uncomfortable by necessity, right? So
comfort, it keeps going around that comfort. So create a comfortable place. So I might be going extreme in that one, but if we make grappling inside the musalla, I don't think they will mind.
I do it with the kids sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't think they will mind. So what I'm trying to analyze here, musalla is not the problem, masjid is not the problem, bringing them here is not the problem. So what is the problem? How? Right? How? Yes, uncle.
I think one of the reasons, maybe that's my observation, when the youth come, they have extra energy.
Okay.
They want to take out everything that evening. Some people criticize for that, and that pushes them behind.
Yeah, you see the idea? So the interaction.
Yeah.
Means they are coming with lots of energy at once, and everybody here feel comfortable also. So they feel uncomfortable by the youth feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
You see, so now we are talking about different levels of comfort. If the youth feel comfortable and they show it with energy and all over the place. And everybody comfortable, but they are quiet and peaceful. So basically we need to bridge that. Yeah.
Actually, the whole thing starts from the back home.
Ah,
Kids have to be,
quiet.
no, they have to be trained, they have to be explained. But I go to masjid, don't run too much up when they're praying or something like this.
Culture.
It has to be and that way.
So culture also plays a big role. Yeah, you're right. What else, Musa, you think that would be challenges for the youth after Ramadan? There might be challenges that they are already normal, like before Ramadan or after Ramadan. What are the main challenges that would prevent the youth from continuing what they were continuing, the qiyam and the spiritual experience that you said you provided? Keep in mind what I mentioned in the second khutbah today about the survey that we made. The survey was about 150 people participated. Let me give you the latest for that survey. So we have total of 130 community members participated in the survey from all different ages, right? So the survey, did you feel you have reached a higher state of iman last Ramadan? That was the question, right? 80% said yes, and 20% said no. So they did not feel higher level of their iman. What is the first thing that comes to your head? Oh, bad people, right? Oh, how come they did not feel? Oh, they are losers, or whatever. It's not right. Even some might go far and say, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever does not benefit from Ramadan is a loser, right? And they will apply that, which does not apply. This applies to somebody who intentionally abandoned something. But keep in mind that those 20% might have been actually looking for it, but it didn't happen. So that's number one. Number two, might have been prevented from that by some distraction. Yes? Number three, maybe they became better after Ramadan when they reflected. So don't look at the negative as completely describing someone bad. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind. Second question was, after Ramadan, are you continuing at least one act of worship that you started last Ramadan? So someone started something last Ramadan that they normally did not do. So they attended the qiyam, for example, or they attended the suhoor, or they came, and they want to continue that. Have you continued? So we have 83.8% who said yes, and 16.2% who said no. All right? So keep that in mind. So I want you to tell me, is this typical for the youth? And what would be something that you tell the youth to come, but they will not, but in Ramadan they will? You with me?
Yeah.
So Ramadan they will, but after Ramadan they will not. What would be that?
So, what would be the
Something
factor that contributes to them
coming in Ramadan, but not after Ramadan?
I think in hindsight, I think people, for youth, I really think it's a mindset issue, related problem. So like the uncle mentioned, it starts at the home. I think people sometimes are brought up with this understanding that if I made one single mistake, or if I didn't really achieve all of the goals that I had in mind, every other thing that I've done is a waste.
See? So that's a good point. That's why in the khutbah today I said somebody can be good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have to treat them good within good, and you have to reserve on the bad that they do, but you do not eliminate. Because once we show that we eliminate, that's how the mindset will come. That if I'm not perfectly good, I'm not good at all. Actually, there was a sect in Islam called Khawarij. You know Khawarij? Khawarij who stated, who left Islam and judged everybody as kafir, including Sayyidina Ali, Sayyidina Muawiyah, everybody. They judged everybody. So if you are not from us, you are not Muslim. Why? They took it to the extreme. And according to them, if someone lies once in his lifetime, he's in hellfire, that's it. Even he does not repent and everything he's done. Khalas. You see, to that level, يعني. If you do one sin, and that belief is actually with youth sometimes. We make that belief gold to them. So someone judges people when they come to the mosque. No, this mosque is open for sinners. It is open for people who do not know how. It is open for people who are full of wrong. This is their place. All right? I want everybody to understand that. Yes? Mm. Keep note of that. See, you, mm. So she came with expectation that she did not see. Mm. So we can call it advertisement and logistics. We can call it like that. Who's who? We have on our website to call the youth director. This is the person. Have a religious question. This is the coordinator. About traffic and parking. This is the person. Correct? I know. That person will guide you to. That's what we do in events like Islamic Art Festival. I think one of the major reasons why it is successful, because when people come from A to Z, there is someone accompanying them. Yes? So when you enter, somebody welcomes you and take you to the next table, and the next table take you to the next table, and you keep going until you finish your tour. I love that idea. So I wish we have the same thing, inshallah, for our, so basically logistics. You know, I learned in one of the courses of policy design and delivery that sometimes we look at a problem, Musa, and we rush to its solution. So that's the first mistake that you do in solving any problem. Because sometimes this is not the actual problem. It might be a manifestation of the actual problem. Right? So you find some, okay, do I have a problem in the masjid? What's the problem? Youth don't come. Let's bring them. Huh? Bring your brother, bring your son. You did not solve the problem, man. So bring them today. Are you going to bring them tomorrow? How are they going to be interested? What if you die or get sick? How are they going to come? So that's not the problem now. Problem is why they are not coming to the masjid. Huh? Why? So that is the actual issue. And then we have to see the stakeholders and why those reasons are there and how we solve the reasons and what are the steps. After you finish all of that, still they may not come. So maybe you have to revisit exactly your reasons again. Yes? Yeah, that's it. Aywa. Yeah, so welcoming the youth, not to be judgmental, quickly, reactive to them. So the brother is saying that in New York, that when he was growing up, he had the problem, afraid to go to the mosque because he will be yelled at if he does anything wrong. And by the way, it's the worst feeling ever when a child is growing, feeling guilty without doing anything wrong, actually. You know why? In psychology, they will end up doing wrong and not feeling guilty later. I'll repeat that. When your child grows up being scared to make a mistake, because you are always, do this, perfection, then they are afraid that any step I make, it will be wrong and I will be judged. Once they gain the authority and power on themselves, what are you going to do? All the wrong that they were prohibited to do, now they're free to do it, and they will not feel guilty. So please, when you grow up, when you're growing, watching somebody grow up, I'm not saying compromise. This is wrong. I'm not saying do not correct the wrong. That's wrong also. What I'm saying is how you have to be patient. You have to be gradual. More friendly. Yes, be gradual. And we saw lots of youth. Wallahi, Musa, I was touched this last Friday. Last Friday when I was here giving the first khutbah, that some of the kids and some of the youth, from Jum'ah until night, I was staying here, that they come and greet me in the office for no reason except they want to come and say salam. That's an achievement. Like for me, I always assume that somebody knocking on the door, coming for what? Question, right? An issue, problem. But when some kids said, Assalamu alaikum, or their father said, Assalamu alaikum, my son wanted to say hi, or my daughter said, oh, welcome, here, a lollipop for you, chocolate, But I'm happy. That is exactly what I want to develop. Kids want to come to the mosque. Love to come to the mosque. Love to be corrected, by the way. If they come to the mosque and you tell them, yeah, well, okay, yes, I'll do it. Not judged, not feeling bad. What else will be, in your opinion, Musa, would be, now we talked about comfort, we talked about logistics and all that, we talked about the fear of making mistake. Those things we will address in our program. What else you think would be in family, culture? Like what is it that making our youth come to certain event but not come to the other?
Can I suggest something?
Yes, sir.
This is the most important and difficult
Task.
assignments, whoever takes it. Every individual growing child particularly has some expectation. Expectation. Meaning, maybe right or wrong, but they have, that we have to know, what is the majority growing the community is expecting from coming to the masjid or in that.
So basically surveying the community. Like asking like who is doing what is their interest. Like our community, for example, is majority youth between 17 and late 30s. Like if you say between 17 and 40, this is the majority of our community here. 70% or more of the community that they are youth, that age segment. That's when you produce and when you are functioning the most. Between 17, that's the high school, about to finish high school, until 40, when you are well established and have a family. Yeah? So that's basically your production time. After that is decline. And before that you are actually going up, getting ready to be someone, right? So that segment, when it is the majority of the community, means you are golden if you address it right. So basically you have to know what they like, what they dislike, what is the psychological or mental state, what is the financial state, or married or not married, their interests and all of that. So there need to be some kind of study. I agree. Wallahi, that's the only way. In my research at the past 4 or 5 years, over that I learned how to research and I saw the importance of research. We can talk forever and we can do lots of good things. Imagine, Musa, you and Brother Anwar and many other sport coaches, if you have a statistic telling you exactly how many youth who are in the community that you can target for your program. I want you just to imagine that. You'll have 10 times more students, right? And you will function better and you will have the heart to do lots of good things. If I know that there are, for example, this many high school graduates, this many boys, this many girls, and how many of them go science, how many of them go literature, before they go and have that career, I can condition them religiously. You see? So someone would be scientific, in computer or in medicine or this or that. There is a certain approach to religion, right? They will their mind will function in a specific way that me, as a sheikh, can talk to them only one way to get it to them. I know that. I know an engineer studying fiqh is not like a doctor studying fiqh. It's not like an Islamic studies major. Trust me, an engineer will study fiqh better than anyone else. An engineer, because their mind is what?
Yeah.
Logical, steps, measurements are precise. So that person will be actually good as a person who understands fiqh. Not necessarily becoming a mufti. I'm not saying that. Mufti needs some flexibility. Engineer doesn't have that. But I am saying this is someone who can be academically perfect. Writing the books of fiqh in a very good way, presenting it like in a very good, nice way, A, B, C, this branch, that branch, making a flow chart, amazing. Can make it easy for us to teach. See what I'm saying? Someone in medicine, for example, now they are scientific. They have an area of being human, but they have rules that they go by. That also you can give them certain aqidah. Aqidah, faith. So whatever they do it out of faith. They believe, wow, amazing, marvelous, look at this. So when they come, they teach Islam from their background, they are better than me. Because I'm teaching things theoretical, all of this, but he is seeing the miracles of Allah every single day. You see? And so on and so forth. What I'm trying to say is, if we have that study that Uncle Nazir is suggesting, that to go and see what they have, make my job easy, your job easy, and everybody's job easy. So inshallah, maybe this is also another point that we do. Any one of you here want to talk as a youth or someone who have a teenager or someone like that, and wondering what are the challenges that you have, or why your son or your daughter or your younger brother or younger sister that they are not practicing or anything like that? Anybody, sisters, you have any question in this regard? We are here for you. You do? Come on, man, shoot. Say it. Say it. It's okay.
Come on, bro. You're in my Sunday school class.
Huh?
He's in my class.
Is he in your class? So you're afraid of your teacher?
Both classes, actually.
I am the teacher of your teacher.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, you don't have one? Okay. But you're enjoying his class? Is he a good teacher? Yeah? Yeah, tell me, man.
That's right.
Yes. Right.
I just speak out of experience. When I was 15, 16, I was good Muslim, but I'm not too excited to go to mission because most of the topics they talk about is very generic.
Ah.
Now, one of the times when I really started going to mission a lot more and consistently, when they started having these, for example, prophet stories.
Ah.
Very specific, and there were series of them made in a very simplistic way and very fun way and interactive. And actually, one of the ways to keep the same ones keep coming to mission and maybe add more is you ask them questions, and it's like you quiz them from the past. Let's say you talk about Prophet Isa's story this week. The next week we're going to talk about Prophet Harun or Yahya or Musa. But you're going to ask the question, you're going to quiz them, and you're going to give them good words and make it fun, things like that. That's how I really became very attracted to masjid, and building on that to more other topics.
So if I could weigh in actually on
Right.
both of these. So I think these two questions are perfect. They go together very well. So Uncle, we actually did something very similar in my Sunday school class. So when Brother Hassan Masood was here, he and I started teaching the youth class together. And we had an idea of how we wanted to go, or he had a framework of how he wanted to go about teaching the class material-wise. But prior to us starting the class, he said we should put out a survey to see what these high school kids actually have questions about. So I noticed like it was a lot of questions were very similar. There's a lot of overlap, like problem of evil. Is Islam, like kids here in school or on the news all the time, Islam and Muslim men, or is very misogynistic or women hating. Is this true? Or is how do we know that our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a prophet? How can we verify these things? These are very practical questions. So these questions kind of helped us understand the direction that we had to go with the material that we were going to teach. And we took time out initially to answer a lot of these, like what they call apologetics questions, but we didn't want to spend our whole time just answering doubts. We said, here, we want to focus this amount of time answering these questions, and we want to go into foundational knowledge to where you can begin to understand and answer these questions when they arise yourself, or you can understand how to ask an educated question with prior knowledge. So I think a lot of youth, maybe they feel like they have these questions, but it's like blasphemous to ask them. So they think, I can't let anybody know that I have this thought in my mind, so I can't ask it. And if I come to the masjid, I have this guilt that I feel this way, so I just don't even want to go. So
that also is you can open a venue to ask those questions anonymously.
yeah,
That's one way to look at it. But let me tell you something very interesting. Those things, by the way, they were handled by our guided predecessors. This is not new.
yeah,
So shaitan comes to anyone. Shaitan means the devil, right? Evil, yeah. From one of two gates. There is no third. One of two gates. It's either the issue that you have is shahwa. Shahwa means lust, desire. Something physical, material. Or shubha, which is something mental. Right? They both start with the sheen, letter sheen. Shahwa and the shubha. And his name is what? Shaitan. So remember three sheens, shaitan comes from this sheen or this sheen. Okay? So this way you remember it, right? So shubha, shahwa, is the lust. Lust does not know a religion, does not know morals, nothing. Religion and morals and principles will control it, but will not eliminate it. Right? So otherwise shahwa, when you don't have shahwa, then you'll be an angel, right? Angel. And if you don't have mind, you have shahwa, only become an animal. So one of two. So if shahwa is overtaking you, you become an animal. If shahwa is eliminated, you become an angel. Yeah? But we are human beings. So you need that shahwa, but not in an animalistic way, and you don't need to eliminate it either. Am I clear until here? So where does shaitan fit in here? He does not tell you live without shahwa, and he does not tell you live like an animal, because you are not going to do that. But he wants you to feel that you are an angel while you are acting like an animal. You see? So you feel self-righteous while you are doing what? They say you are a good human being, man, but enjoy, live your life, live the day, nobody sees you, blah, blah, blah. And you ended, you live what? You become like an animal, but then after you finish, you said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasul, alhamdulillah, we're good.
that's liberalism.
So, shaitan comes from shahwa here. Your weakness, that you become enslaved to your desire. That is the only way he will have authority. But if you say, my shahwa is going to be fulfilled only the way that my God permitted me to fulfill, then shaitan cannot enter from the gate. That's why the Prophet said, complete your deen by getting married. Now you see, why? To close that gate. Because that gate will keep he's pushing the door and you're pushing the door, but you don't have power. But when you have a way to fulfill your shahwa properly, then shaitan is like, how I'm going to convince this guy or this lady, how? They already fulfilled it properly. Remains what? Shubha, which is a little bit tough. Because there is no gate for this one, to close by marriage and by that. So shubha means doubt. Shubha means doubt. If you find yourself every day, whenever you go out, you start sneezing and coughing. What does that mean?
You probably have allergies.
You have allergies, right? So is the problem the weather or you? No, but weather is weather, right? It is there, but not everybody is sneezing and coughing.
Yeah,
So you start sneezing and coughing, means there is an issue with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying where is the issue? The issue is not the weather, because weather can be dry and some people get sick because it's dry, can be humid and some people get sick because it's humid, right? There are pollen and some people get because of pollen, some people because it's absolutely, yeah, somebody's sick sometime for some reason. But weather is weather, right? Okay. So now you treat what? Your defense system. Yeah? You can get an allergy pill, but did the allergy disappear?
No.
So what is the right course of treatment? To boost your immune system. Yeah? And that's what all sports people say, play sports because it gives you better life. Better what? Not exactly to go fight. You maybe actually be a champion in Muay Thai or grappling, and you never fight in the street in your life. Actually, all those coaches, they tell you, you should avoid fighting. And when you know that much, you do not want to use it, subhanAllah, but it gives you a sense of comfort and feeling, and you are, mashallah, better athlete. Anyways, Shubha is like that. When people come to us, Musa, with questions, you said the youth have blasphemy things and all of that. You did the right thing, you and Brother Hassan, who was the youth director. Why? You said, we're not going to entertain all this Shubha, but what are we going to do? Build your defense. I hope you understand, because it's very technical here and very intricate. Somebody comes to me and said, Sheikh, somebody give me that doubt. Sheikh, somebody give me that doubt. And over a year, my job is to do what? Answer the doubt. And he's the messenger, and he's getting weaker and weaker and weaker every day. He's not getting stronger. Don't think every day I give him an answer, he becomes stronger Muslim. La wallah. He actually becomes weaker. You know why? He'll say, when this is going to end? All these questions about Islam, that means Islam is not right. What if I'm not there to answer? So instead of being busy giving allergy pills, build the immune system. You teach them the right aqidah and make it now interesting and all that. So basically the shubha, that's why the scholar said the treatment for the shahwa is taqwa. Is what? Taqwa. Taqwa, you go get married, you fast, you do dhikr, you be among the people, you come to the masjid, you avoid all the areas of lust. That's the first one. But the treatment for shubha is ilm. Seeking knowledge, education. So you do not answer the shubha. That's why sometimes kids come with 100 questions. I tell them, ask me after 3 classes. Right? After 3 classes of aqidah, then ask me. They say, Sheikh, 50% of questions already answered. I said, wait 3 more classes. But write all your questions, and every time a question answered, scratch it. What am I trying to teach them here? The more you read and the more you study, many of your questions will actually be, so you know that it is about you. It's not about Islam. Islam has all the answers, but have you looked for them? You see now, my approach here, it's not about how much information we give in our lectures. No. I want you to come out from this lecture with one thing only. It's enough for me. He said tonight in the lecture, Sheikh Mamdouh and Musa said that we have to make it interesting, more interesting for the youth to come by doing some logistical. Good. Alhamdulillah. Imagine every time you attend one of my lectures, you come up with one thing. My community become educated over a couple of years. Because you're going to gain about 100 things every year like that. Our children are the same. So who else can tell me some feedback or something that we did not speak about regarding the youth? Whether a reason that make them come or go ahead. Being impactful, yes.
Yeah.
I love this point. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I love that. Alhamdulillah. I appreciate that, man. May Allah keep you strong, inshallah. Imagine you are like this when you are young. I wish you are like that when you are 30 and 40 and 50, inshallah. You become better than us. So the comment here was, when a youth come here, don't only treat them as they are the only receiving end, or they are a receiving end only. You're going to teach them, lecture them, and that's it. No. They can be your support. They can be actually your gate to more youth. And he gives his own example, mashallah, that he is here as a result of the invitation of one of his friends. And maybe that friend is a result of, and he also invited another friend, so I have 4 people there with one initiative. Huh? So imagine, that's what I said in the khutbah today. You know, you are impacting 5 people in your family, but each one of them will start a family of 5 people. So that's 25 people. Over 200, 300 years, it will be like few hundred people. So if you do something and you tell people to communicate that to others, which is very good. Every youth comes, tell them bring another one for you, with you. So inshallah, in grabbing, bring an observer.
Yeah.
Bring an observer.
We need to welcome them.
Yes, welcome.
Anytime we see a youth, if everybody can do that, just we need to talk to them.
So it should become a collective community effort. Brother Tawfiq say collective community effort. It's not like me and Musa and few others here will come. We need to preach that. Make it as a characteristic of the community. So everybody is welcoming. And we encompass those who are not welcoming. So we bring like, this is the attitude. Anybody comes, accept Islam or this or that. Everybody is welcoming them. They feel very good about it. Yes? Very good. So that the example of our brothers who are in Tabligh Jama'ah, they do a very good practice. That they go and visit. So they get some people to give them nusra from the community. That they are like muhajirin and who are like ansar. They take someone and introduce them to certain places, and then they go and invite you to come to the masjid. Mostly people come to the masjid based on the invitation, and sometimes they take them, as the brother said, to Muslim or non-Muslim friends, and they end up coming to the masjid. In business, so I'm just going to give you a business idea. In business, when you want to advertise something, you go word of mouth. It's less effective than when you go mass advertisement, right? There is some benefit here and there. So if I target only those who are sitting in front of me, I said, please guys come to Fajr this coming Sunday, we have Riyadh al-Salihin. Yes? I'm saying all of you, that's an experiment now. All of you, inshallah, I want to see you on Sunday, Riyadh al-Salihin. The chances of every single person here attending Riyadh al-Salihin is low. Maybe 50%. If I am going to be very optimistic, 60% of who are here will come on Sunday Fajr. Correct? Right. Business-wise now, if I address 5,000 people to come for Riyadh al-Salihin in the morning, what are the chances of people coming? Much higher. So if I have 10% only come of 5,000, I'm successful. The masjid will be full. Yeah? Even if I have 2% of that number is big. And the chances of having 2% are pretty high. But the chances of having 50% is pretty low. You get the idea? So now when you actually go more, like the brother mentioned, you go and visit more people. So basically whoever comes is a bigger number than you just address those who are in the masjid. Yes? The human interaction is different. Yes. Yeah, whenever this will never fade. Does not matter what you do, does not matter the AI, does not matter the futuristic things. Meeting with people, feeling them right there in front of you in your personal space and all of that, seeing them, hearing them, being able to see that this is a human being in front of me is completely different than anything else. So I agree with you. And we do not abandon technology, but we focus on that. That's my approach is like I give one-on-one to prepare or mentor leaders, those who can affect others, right? And I go online and through the live stream and all of that for the rest. So if I get one or two every now and then from that, that's great, but I don't want to lose anybody from who I have here. So you can have both, face to face. So when I train you and Musa and Brother Anwar and Hamza and all this, and each one of you go meet two people face to face and 200 people online is good, because I cannot meet all of that. So you have to do this and 10 times more online. And inshallah will be very successful. Do you have last minute closing comments?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a multifaceted,
Yes.
issue, and there's a lot of different aspects that you can tackle it from. But I think fundamentally, like you said, Sheikh, if you give the pill for the allergies, you still have the
Allergy.
fundamental problem, right? The allergy. I think this is all, like you said, if you pin it to one thing, it's an issue of pedagogy, right? Like teaching children.
Pedagogy, yes.
And if you focus on dealing with the shubahat of high school kids or young professionals, they're already at an age where they have a lot more going on. They don't have enough time to dedicate towards, learning and stuff like that. And I think our community thinks that because we're Muslim and because we go to the masjid maybe a couple days a week and for Jum'ah, that it negates the effect of school or society or culture. Whereas we as Muslims, we don't live in a vacuum, right? Like the time that you spend in the masjid, usually it's very hard to negate the rest of the interactions that a child growing up will come across in public school, for example. So I think being proactive is very important, very, very important.
So my closing statement also is what, building on what Musa just said, that you have to be proactive. So basically, instead of solving the problems by patching it, you have to go to the cause of the problem. The cause of the problem. And you have to have the whole idea. So inshallah, we have the lecture recorded. So I think we should go step by step and see the welcoming, logistics and surveys and advertisement, make it more interesting, mentoring the people to become not only receivers but give it to someone else. Those are the things that I think we should have a framework out of that. And please don't be judgmental to those who come to the masjid. Just be nice, be friendly, be patient. And if you have some personal issue, talk to me, talk to a leader, talk to someone. Express your concern, no problem. But you are part of a jama'ah. That's what I was saying. This khutbah today, I want you to listen to it again. Listen to the live stream. It was khutbah, I prepared it, it took time for me to prepare it. So I really meant every word I said, and there was lots of information in it. And with tonight's lecture, I want you to listen again and give your feedback. And please, whenever you receive a survey or something like that, put effort, conscious effort to respond. Would you promise, inshallah, to do that? Huh? Respond. And after every khutbah, go give your feedback about the khutbah. The khutbah, I benefited this much and that much, and I wish you can talk about this subject and that subject, right? And criticize, no issue. No problem at all. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those, inshallah, who care about our community, about our families, and may Allah protect us from all the fitna. Ameen. May Allah guide us along the straight path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show us the right and enable us to follow it. May Allah show us clearly the wrong and enable us to avoid it. May Allah Azza wa Jalla surround us by good company, by His angels, by His mercy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always remind us to come back to the straight path. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and our spouses and our children. May Allah Azza wa Jalla strengthen our ties as a jama'ah and as a community. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan for your patience and listening. Thank you. Azan, inshallah, brother Zabidi here. Sheikh Zabidi. Ta'ala. وفيك حبيبي شكرا. Thank you so much for short notice.